Hi there, my name's Nadernejad, coming at you from St. Catherine Street West in downtown Montreal. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the pros and cons of living in this city. Before we get started with this video, I'd love to introduce myself. My name's Nadernejad. I own an online reputation management business, helping people fix their online presence. But my way of giving back, something I love to do, and to get involved with the community, to get involved with Canada and the world, is to make these videos to inform you, to help you, and to help you get started here, wherever you want to in Canada. Get settled, get started, and launch up like a rocket. So in today's video, we'll be talking about what it's like living in this beautiful city of Montreal. As you can see, we're still in the middle of the pandemic, but at the same time, there's energy, there's noise, there's people, and it's really a great city. So we're gonna delve into it. Let's get started. Let me grab my bag, it's over here. Nader is always forgetting his stuff. I should mention as a disclaimer, I've only been in the city for like 5 days, 3 days, 10 up, I don't know, it's been a short time, but I feel like I've gotten the vibe. I've internalized it, I feel it, and I love it. So I feel like I'm the qualified expert to discuss this topic. So let's delve into some of the positives right off the bat. I mean, quite obviously, it's a beautiful city. It's got some amazing European vibes, and one other thing is also the living costs here are lower because it's one of Canada's biggest city. I think about the second biggest city in the country, but at the same time, rents are lower than Halifax, rent is lower than Toronto, and rent is lower than Vancouver. So you have this big city, bilingual atmosphere, so many great things to do, and rent is lower. What's that? Of course. So this is one of the really amazing things about living here in Montreal is you can probably afford it compared to those larger cities. The second thing, another perk and another reason why many move here is the world-class culture. We're talking about, you have music events all the time. You have some of the best food in the country. It's a melting pot. It's multicultural. Even the grocery stores you go to, the food is fresh, right? Everything is delicious, and there's a really high standard of quality of food here, and you can really get anything. We have a little Italy, a little Portugal, we have a Chinatown, we have even more good food interspersed around the city. Anything you can think of, it's probably here, with the exception of a couple of very specific dishes that you want to have. For example, I wanted a Persian dish, ᴄᴏᴜʀsᴇ, couldn't find it. I wanted a Kazakh dish, I wanted ībᴜ괜ʀsᴜ, couldn't find it. So these two things, like, okay. But in terms of cuisine, in terms of culture, you'll find everything here. I'm just, standing in front of a Burger King. We have like restaurants, everything in this area. So St. Catherine Street's one of those streets where you can get all that. But again, all around Montreal, you can find those things. Next up on our list, this one excites people all the time. It's beer in corner stores. And not just corner stores, you can get beer or alcohol, wine just about anywhere. In fact, in some restaurants, you can even bring your own bottle of wine and drink it there. It's bring your own wine. So there's so many amazing things here in Montreal, including, just the food, the landscape, the alcohol. It's just more accessible. It's more easy. There's less red tape to do many of the things that you want to do, with some exceptions, of course. I mean, we have some French, English language exceptions. We have, there's exceptions with any city or any province that you're in here in Canada, but this is one of the most freest and most, best places you could ever live. So I highly recommend it. Hey guys, so what's your favorite part about Montreal?
The Poutine.
The Poutine. Yeah. Are you visiting? Are you traveling?
I live in 3 years.
3 years here.
Yeah.
And you moved for school, or?
I'm student.
Student. Oh, that's great. That's cool. What are you studying?
Social science.
Social science, and that's great. Yeah, I actually came here 5 days ago, getting acquainted with the city. So yeah, I guess we could say Vivre Montréal.
Thank you.
All right. It's funny, we just walked down from there, and these guys said poutine was their favorite, and then this guy walked up, he's like, jourdais poutine, like, I will eat a poutine. So that's great. I mean, there's lots of poutine available here for sure. For those of you who don't know, and I'm sure many of you do, because it's become like international, world famous, poutine is fries with cheese curds as gravy. Another thing is there are tons of festivals here. We have ᴍᴜʀsᴜ and the Mix. Anything that you want to experience here in terms of music, in terms of nightlife, in terms of, any sort of music event you can find it. There's jazz, there's blues throughout the week, there's, you know, hip hop, there's all these different, even electronic music festivals. So as things are opening up more with the pandemic, I'm actually walking around and I'm seeing festivals on the street with hundreds of people gathering. Now they're not inside yet, but I'm still seeing them outside. There's people experiencing, there's people having fun. So if you're a fan of festivals and you want to move to a fairly affordable big city, this is a really great place for you. Now, I haven't mentioned any of the cons yet, but I think it's important to get into the tax rate. Taxes here, you're going to be paying Quebec sales tax. And in our Quebec sales tax, we're looking at a combined rate between the provincial and the federal rate of around 14.95%. So that's about a 15% sales tax, which is very similar to Halifax. In fact, Halifax is exactly a 15% sales tax. So you're looking at I guess a 0.05 reduction between here and Halifax, which is more important. It's more expensive than Ontario, for instance, which is Ontario is around 13%. Alberta is like something super small, maybe like 5, but that's subject to change in the future, possibly with Alberta's economy, I'm predicting. So it really depends. At the moment, sales tax is quite high, so that's one con. And it's just so lively here. I feel the energy to make videos. I feel energy to do things. So it's a city I recommend you check out if you haven't already. One thing you'll notice about Montreal is that it's a very bicycle-friendly city. So you'll walk around, you'll be seeing bikes all the time. And out of the many cities, for example, like Halifax is making strides to become more bicycle-friendly, but not every city is like that. Some cities really struggle with bike lanes and making room for bikers, and it's dangerous. But here you can bike. So if you're a biker or you want to get around on foot or by bike, this is one of the best cities you can do it in. So another thing as you could potentially see as a con is it's important to be bilingual here. Important if you want to excel. So let me elaborate there. If you're planning on immigrating, it's easier to immigrate in any of the other provinces rather than Quebec. And the reason for that is, well, if you don't speak French as one of your main languages or speak French well, then it's difficult to find a job and you won't be able to immigrate using the Quebec way of immigration. Now, that being said, if you come from a country that's primarily French-speaking, it may be easier, and a lot of people overlook that. I've met a few friends here within my first few days from Côte d'Ivoire, for example, and they have moved and been able to immigrate very easily because their primary language spoken there is French. Now, on the bright side of this is if you want to learn French, it'll be very cost-effective to do it here because the government offers sponsored programs for people to learn French here in Montreal. So if you want to learn French, the city, the government, the province will open up that opportunity to you. Now I touched on sales tax, but I also want to touch on a different form of tax. That's your income tax here. So as a business owner working here in Montreal, what I try to do is to keep as much money in the business as possible and not pay myself too much, because what you're going to end up doing is paying one of the highest personal tax rates in the entire country. And you're looking at about, I think on the first $45,000, you're looking at between 16 to 20% of tax. Please do double check that. But again, ballparking it, could be less, could be a little more, but it's quite more than you would anticipate. So it is quite high. And next up on our list, let's talk about winters in Montreal. What's it like living here? How do you get started? What do you need to prepare? How do you dress warm? Let's talk all about that and more. Now, when we're looking here, for example, when we're looking at Montreal, we're experiencing colder weather. We're experiencing more snow. So in fact, this past winter was great in Montreal. But if we're looking at, you know, Montreal, Quebec, compared to the rest of Canada, we're looking at, on average, a bit more snow and colder. Colder than Calgary? No, but it's wetter. So really anywhere you go in Canada, what I'm trying to say is your winter's probably not going to be good unless you go to Vancouver, but then you're going to get rain instead. So really pick your poison. So what I recommend, winter jacket, good wicking layer, wearing an undershirt underneath really does help. And then again, making sure your body's not wet, even allowing yourself to cool down so you don't sweat and then freeze, because that's one thing that makes you sick. So if you want to learn more about the weather in Montreal, I recommend looking it up. Again, you're going to experience colder weather here than you will in Nova Scotia. It's not really dry, it's a little bit wet, but not as wet as the East Coast, but it's colder. So I hope that helps. You honestly can't really say whether weather is good or bad, you know, definitively in Canada. Some people prefer winters in different provinces, and nowhere is particularly great or amazing. So that's what I recommend. I recommend you checking it out and picking. If you can leave the country for the winter, that's probably the best, unless you really like it. But but that's what I recommend. It's something to give a shot. One thing's worth mentioning is the public transit here is pretty affordable compared to some larger cities. If you're looking at Toronto, for instance, you might be spending 140 on transit. In Halifax, you know, around the same thing, over 100. Here you're gonna spend about $83 for a pass. So it really depends. I mean, you can get much better, more affordable rates. I'm sure it's risen a little bit since then, but generally here will be around 20% cheaper for transit, so not so bad. This guy's just brought his car over here and you can see him driving it around. Wow, look at all the people. Okay, so the next step is we're gonna go and we're gonna have a coffee and we're going to finish some work. And well, a better place to do that than downtown Montreal. So I'm gonna go to a cafe to do my work. It appears that I've walked the wrong way. I'm walking towards downtown Sweden. So I need to actually walk the other way. I may just try to, oh, as you can see, I'm trying to go this way, and it says like, utilisez passage temporaire, so like, use temporary passage.ca. So as you can see, everybody in downtown Montreal is utilisez le passage temporaire right now. As you can see, my advice for when you come here and you're learning French, you may not know what you're saying, but yell it anyway. You know, I did it in Thailand, I'm gonna go do it in Russia. I don't know the language well, but I will yell it anyway. So I just like will formulate random sentences while walking in the street, like j'aime les oiseaux parce que c'est comme les avions. So it doesn't make sense, but you know what? You give it a try, and then you have a good day. And I met my friend over here again. He was driving the car. So this is your hobby, right?
Yes, my hobby. I got two of them.
Oh, does it have a name? Is it like race driving? Or?
Yeah, it's this is İRᴜ. It's called İRᴜ
ībᴜ괜.
It's 120 kilometers an hour.
Whoa, that's fast,
Yeah,
eh?
yeah.
Wow, that's cool. I'm gonna get closer on this.
Yeah, we're gonna do some wheelies.
Look at that.
Here, yeah.
Here's a car here. I like the car. So now I'm heading down to the Old Port in one of my favorite coffee shops called Tommy Cafe. I really like it because it's easy to work in, to be honest. And I like the Old Port. It's pretty nice. So heading down this road. I'll see you there. In the meantime, if this video helped you or gave you a better insight into the city, be sure to hit that like button, smash the subscribe button, and ring that notification bell for updates on all the latest videos. Again, my name's Nadernejad. Thank you for watching. Don't want to forget the mask.